Talk. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome. I'm being my meat robot. They don't know that joke, but I'm running with it. I'm a robot. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the stories of all the campaigns, and we have done another collective list because I'm high on collective. Like this is like
2 in a row.
Like buy collective lists, sell individual lists. That's where we are right now. Okay. I'm feeling it. So we're going to be ranking the stories. We rank them out of 10. We're going to do from our lowest rating all the way to our highest, and then Travis is going to give us our scores individually, and we're going to talk and break it down. So Travis, what is our number 8, and what was its score, and what did we all give it?
It was Night of the Zealot. Its total was 11. Brandon and I gave it a 3, and Justin gave it a 5.
Mm-hmm. Out of 10.
Yeah. So like this one I think is like not an awful story. It's just short.
It is short, yeah.
It's a very, it is like very true to kind of Lovecraftian short stories because it's like a short story.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only one with a possible ending where I'm like, thanks, I'll die instead.
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which maybe possibly should mean that I rank it higher because I'm not interested in sacrificing one of the.
Yeah, you're connected. You're attached to the story.
But not really that much. It's mostly more, just like
you don't want to be a quitter.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to take the easy way out. Yeah. So for me, I looked at all these like as if it was a movie, right? Like if I have a book I was reading, how engaged would I be? And I don't think any of the campaigns in this game are actively bad, right? The story for them. I think that this one's kind of just average, and that's why I gave it a 5. Just because it's like it has a cool culty hook, but it also doesn't really do too much with that hook. But also like reasonably, it's a 3-part story. Like, what is it going to do with that hook, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We have also spent a lot of time discussing the possibility of one-shotting Mordoth or the easiest ways to kill Mordoth. So that's kind of neat.
I was also reminded of that challenge we were going to do where we just put the Ghoul Priest in each deck. Just to, have some fun with that. I think that could be fun. We got to do that sometime. But yeah, I think we also haven't played this one in forever because it's kind of just... It's the intro.
Yeah.
It's the intro.
It just hangs out.
Yeah, it's there.
For a hypothetical on that challenge, like when we kill him, we get the victory. Right?
Oh hell yeah, yeah!
Because otherwise we've spent a whole shitload of time doing nothing.
No. He counts for the victory. He goes in the victory display, but then he just comes back in the next scenario.
No, but each time we kill him, we have to add another Ghoul Priest to the deck.
He multiplies the Hydra Ghoul Priest challenge. Cut off one. No!
I'm sure we have like probably 8 Ghoul Priests between the 3 of us.
If you kill him, he gets swarming for each time you kill him. Wow, that would be nuts. All right. Man, he just hits for 4 and 4. The second time, you're like, we're gonna die.
This is worse than vengeance.
You get to the last scenario, he has swarming 7. There's just like a fucking human centipede of the Ghoul Priest. Oh my god.
Or like Zoe or Duke, whoever's just like in a circle of like 8 of them, and they're like, Just feed it to him.
The Storm of Spirits way up in value, though.
Oh yeah,
it would.
I think you could do it.
Way up in value.
You could tech for it.
Yeah. Unless you miss.
Yeah.
Well, don't miss.
He's retaliate.
I mean, evade becomes really good against him. Yeah. All right, enough of this hypothetical human centipede Ghoul Priest. What's our number 7?
It's Circle Undone. Or no, Innsmouth Conspiracy. I lied.
Oh, it's Innsmouth Conspiracy.
I saw the C and I was like Circle Undone, but no.
What was our total score?
So you know that the sea doesn't make the sea sound. It's just like a name for the ocean, right?
No, I feel like I've ascended. What do we all give this one?
I gave it a 3. You gave it a 5. Brent gave it a 7.
Nice. So, why don't you start with this one because you have the low score?
Yeah, I don't like this one because the story feels very fragmented to me with how it goes like present, past, present, past, present, past. There's not a lot of continuity there. And I've mentioned it before. I don't remember if it's on video, but I think it would be a lot better if you played like the first 2 scenarios in the present and then like the 4 past ones and the last 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
The story just feels like all over the place to me, and it's hard to... Like the first time I played, I was kind of like, I only kind of understood what happened. So...
Yeah, I think that's fair, and then a good chunk of it is also kind of buried under progress, which is which brings down like one that's going to be we're talking about pretty soon from being better for me was the Circle Undone, right, which we're going to be talking about pretty soon. But I once again that I think that just the general story being told, I don't think it's just I think it could be told better, but I don't think it brings down the story for me. So that's why I still just gave it a 5 because it's just there.
I don't think the story's bad, but like the way it's
structure.
presented
Yeah, you
really
don't like
brings
the
it down for
structure.
me.
Hell yeah. What about you, Brent? You gave it a 7.
Joe Sargent.
The bus driver?
He's great.
The cameo? It's like, yes!
Yeah, let's go.
Joe Sargent, investigator when?
No. Like I'm mostly judging this one assuming you get all the flashbacks, because then a lot of more of parts of the story
cool
make
stuff.
sense.
Yeah.
However, I also understand that it's almost impossible to get all of them unless you're playing on easy. Yeah.
One thing I like about it is that it feels more action packed than the other ones. Like the present story feels like an action movie, which is interesting. And like the idea of like the car chase, getting to the lighthouse, and then like getting locked in. I love that story, but the past part of it isn't that exciting as a story side.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty much just like, you got thrown in a hole.
It is what it builds to, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, is there anything else about this? And they're like, yeah, you found some neat stuff, but they took it away.
Yeah.
Like, good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like even if you lie, tell the truth, or like don't talk to Osiris, he's still like, get in the hole.
Yeah. Well, he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a couple of scenarios in this campaign boil down to you've been thrown in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. What was the score? Because we all know what it is.
It's 17.
For the Circle Undone. And what
Yeah.
were our scores?
I gave this one an 8. You gave it a 7. Brennan gave this a 2.
Yeah, I don't like this one.
It's because Joe Sargent isn't in it?
Well, yeah. No, like, honestly, playing through this one the first time, I was just sort of like, we're here, and then Azathoth? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I guess. And then, like, I learned a little bit more about what was actually happening in the story, and I played through it again, and I was like, cool, we're here, and then Azathoth, eh? Alright. Like,
Yeah.
This is just, like, this is my least favorite one. I don't want to play I don't particularly want to play this one ever, when I could pick a different one.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, it's more kind of like it hits your rotation, right? You're like, we haven't played Circle Undone in a while, so that's the one we'll play.
Sometimes it's like, this one's thematic for the challenge run we're playing.
Yes.
So like,
Yeah.
let's say let's do it. But it is my least favorite.
Yeah.
Of the bunch.
For me, the pieces of the story are really cool. I really like the unraveling of like the witch cult, the Silver Twilight Lodge. I like that. I don't personally know. Like, I know what you've told me, like, briefly, like, this is what the story is telling from the mythos. So, like, that doesn't really sway me for or against it, because I don't really know. But I love the missing people hook. I love that the way that the story kind of, like, you're kind of, like, pulled between the two sides. It docks it a bit for me, because I feel like I've never really experienced the full story, which, might have been the design intention, and it seems to be, right? And, like, maybe that's just how it is, but I do like what I remember from it, but not to the extent that I like for the other ones.
This one, I actually like this one quite a bit. It's my third favorite, apparently, from these ratings. I do like how it takes a different sort of flavor compared to the other ones, where most of the other ones are like, it's the investigators against an old one and their minions, or against their minions trying to summon the old one or whatever, whereas this one's more of a story of like human ignorance and arrogance. It's just different flavor, and I do like how it doesn't really matter which path you choose for the most part. Either one ends up with like, Azathoth being an issue, and like it shows that both of the groups that you could align with were wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. Individually, there are a couple of scenarios in this one that I enjoy, such as Brown Jenkins, I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some real
like,
stinkers of scenarios, but
sneak
Like
through the
story.
lodge with explosives.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Lost in the Woods is pretty good too.
The opening one?
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. No, and I think one thing that I also really like about this one is the both this one, like, this one has a bit of a dread to it, right? But it's a very human dread, right? Which is really neat. It's not like Edge of the Earth, which had like the hopeless environmental dread, right? And it's a nice feeling to the whole campaign. Yeah. All right. Number 6. I went backwards, didn't I? I did. I was like, something wrong. Number 5, we have Edge of the Earth.
This one scored a 20, along with our next one. I gave it a 5, Justin a 7, and Brennan an 8.
Yeah. This one made me care about what happened to Ilya and Anu. So, like, great job.
That's a good sign.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
There were characters who weren't me who I cared about what happened to.
Same with Cookie. I liked Cookie, and I liked. I don't remember her name. Takata, I think.
Takata.
Yeah. I liked. I was. I mean, in all fairness, I didn't get a chance to bond with the one who died in the plane crash, but I'm curious to see, because like I think now we're always going to care about Dog Boy, like always.
Yeah.
And
if if he dies, Anu would be sad. So.
Yeah. I think that I would be a better owner than him for Anu. So,
yeah, but then Anu's not happy, so...
Yeah.
I think Anu would be happier with me.
Trevor's like, also, I hate dogs.
Yeah, I'm more of a cat person, but yeah.
I mean, that's me. That's why, but...
you want to go?
Yeah, no, you go. You go.
Yeah, so like things I give this a 5. The story's like fine for the most part. The opening scenarios, Justin and I discussed a little bit before the video, but they're very good. They do a fantastic job of kind of setting the scene for the rest of the campaign. As does like the climb up the mountain and discovering the City of the Elder things and like to a lesser extent exploring them, but it's still a decent story scenario. The Mirage thing is like kind of neat, and that gives you more background into the characters, but like a lot of it's like pretty stereotypical, I feel, and like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think a big thing of that is that it's like the story is on the backside of a card, right? And it probably would have been worse if they had like a big page you need to read in the book, because there's already a lot of reading in that campaign.
There's a lot of reading in that campaign.
And then you get to like the last scenario, and it just kind of shoots itself in the foot. The last couple scenarios. I'm also not a huge fan of how you can like skip half the scenarios. Like skipping the Mirage one, like I get that. And I kind of get like skipping the third one for like the runaway from the invading squid oil ice milk guys.
Yeah, ice milk.
But like the last one where they're like, oh, do you want to like snoop around or you just want to open the door? It's kind of like, yeah, we'll just go through the door, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like stuff like that is very much a product of them exploring the design space of the one box.
Yeah.
And I imagine that that'll feel tighter and better with future iterations. Because I do agree. I don't like the idea of skipping a campaign. Like, even when people online are like, you get to Undimension and Unseen and you just resign because it doesn't matter. Or you get to Wages and Sin, you resign because 4 heretics are going to escape anyway. And for me, I'm like, but why? Like, I want to play it, right? So likewise...
Why not play?
Yeah. So that likewise with that, I like skipping it doesn't feel...
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
I gave this the same as Circle Undone because I feel very similar. Like, the highs are good. The things I don't like about it, I don't like the ending. The ending, like, it's a cool idea, but I think that just... I feel like it comes too soon. I feel like it's missing a scenario to really explore one last piece of the puzzle. To really like make it like a story that has like a memorable hook for me. Like Bryn, I love the characters. The characters are really cool. And I like my favorite thing in like all the story of Arkham is when you can talk to your teammates between scenarios at those 2 points.
That was really cool.
That is really cool. And that's the kind of thing that we can only see now, like with these like big books too, which is, I think we're going to get a lot of cool story exploring. But it doesn't have the thing that makes me fall in love with it. And like the ending brings it down a bit for me.
Yeah, even if all we did when we could talk to our teammates was like go talk to Ilya, and he's like, don't ask what this is because it's made out of brake fluid.
Yeah.
But we're going to drink it.
No, like if I could have one one complaint about the like the characters themselves. I do like the archetypes that they are and that they explore, but I don't like the relationships between the characters because it seems like the only thing that they decided to go with was these two have an ambiguous love relationship, and then they don't interact with the other ones at all.
Yeah, because that was
They
the
all
one
just
that
kind of like paired up.
they just so like each one had like two, like because it was just like two per, right? Because there's 8 people and there was like paired with
Yeah, there's
like 4 pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like there's like one random. I forget who it is, but there's like one random one that doesn't really have a love interest because the other one is like Elia and Anu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they don't need a love interest. They're a love story on their own part.
That was the that was the implication there.
Yeah, I can get to that. I can respect that.
Yeah, they could have been a little more imaginative in the character relationships
Between the connecting.
Yeah, like
pairs.
have like one be a father and one be a son or something like
That'd
that.
be cool, yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
nice. But
Yeah,
no,
we got,
they're all
we
just
got
like
William Dyer and ice milk drinking guy.
yeah, they're all just
Danforth?
like we're yeah. No, they're all just like we're attracted to each other, and I'm gonna be sad when you die. Because I never got to tell you.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I've only experienced one of those, so maybe that'll I'll feel that more on future playthroughs.
No,
of it.
Brendan is right. There is like a Danforth and
Yeah.
what's his face. But
We're going on an adventure.
yeah.
I do love how bad he was in William Dyer and Eldritch Horror.
So bad.
So bad.
Yeah, you'd get a unique character asset, and you'd be like, "Sick, this is gonna be great." And he'd be like, "We're going on an adventure," and you'd be like, "We're not even playing with the Antarctic sideboard."
Yeah.
Oh my
And then
god!
because I didn't realize how important he was either, and then I'm like, this guy,
Yeah.
this guy who we made fun of for
Yeah,
ages.
he's the guy.
He's like the guy. Like maybe Danforth has a bigger hook, but like Professor William Dyer is the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God. All right, let's go to number 4, which you said had the same score of 20 out of 30.
Yeah.
The Dunwich Legacy.
Yeah, this one was pretty uniform with a 7, a 7, and a 6. It's a nice continuation of the Dunwich horror, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually a pretty solid sequel.
Um,
It's like a little bit of filler.
Yeah, I
But-
guess I could start because I have to explain what I like about it a little bit less than Edge of the
sure.
Earth and Circle Undone. And I think it's just that I feel like there is just some spots that are there more mechanically than they are story-wise, right? Like the train is cool, but why the hell is there this misty guy? This like, you know, like or
The
like
conductor.
yeah, like and like where Doom awaits flavorfully, like story-wise is neat, but I just like, yeah, there's the cultist on top of the hill, like that doesn't really excite me. I love Blood on the Altar, the story for that one, and the ending's really cool. Maybe I did score it too low. Maybe it's also just a 7. You know what, I'm gonna change it to a 7 in my head because then it fits where it
I
belongs
can
here.
change on the paper too.
Oh, thank God.
And the best part is we already pre-ranked this one higher than Edge of the Earth.
Perfect,
So it doesn't mess up the...
Thank God, yeah,
ranking.
because to me it's about on par with
Oh,
those
can
ones.
I
get.
change my ranking to this one
No.
to a number that will make
No.
it higher than a different one that we haven't done yet?
You don't get those privileges. Brandon.
But yeah, I think it's a good story. Like you said, it's a good continuation. The cameos from not the cameos because they're in the freaking movie. Armitage, Morgan, and Rice are all cool.
I love how you said because they're in the movie.
Yeah, because it's all
They are
there
in the movie.
No, like even the climb up the hill is like story wise makes a ton of sense.
Yes,
It probably
yeah.
doesn't deserve to be its own scenario, but
But it makes sense, yeah. And like, yeah. To me, it's more like it doesn't excite me, right? We're
Yeah.
climbing up the hill. That's of course we're going, and they're on the top of the
The
hill.
part that I dislike about climbing up the hill is that it takes longer to set it up than it does to play.
yeah, that's fair.
It
Yeah,
takes longer to set up and take down.
Yeah,
yeah.
sorting out all those encounter cards
Yeah.
sucks.
I do think though that this campaign actually would benefit a lot. It would be so much better if this was designed today, because I feel like they wouldn't have done like, it wouldn't have just been like Yog-Sothoth, right? Like they would have been like leading up to it a bit better, because like you could see that especially in like Forgotten Age, even, right? Like just 2 cycles later, like they get a lot better, like bringing having like the final thing kind of just be connected to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one also, like, this one's only a 7 if we're counting it as the return to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not the return to, then this is trash. there are too
Stories
many.
like
There
the
are
same.
there are too many scenarios that
But
are
there's
just
no
like
banyans.
disjointed and like I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And
For some reason, I'm doing anything.
like I hate this. But there's just like a whole lot of stuff that the Return to smooths out, so you're thinking less about
Oh, the game, and you
like
can
the game mechanically, and you can
enjoy the story
Yeah.
more. That makes sense. Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. Yeah. Look at that guy running away from the brood. He's so small.
He's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see the brood though.
No, no. Well, someone threw paint on him, but it just like was
Like, that's
conveniently
incredible.
like
They-
multiple shades
Yeah, yeah.
of paint that just
And like shaded.
Yeah, he just sat real
nicely,
nicely
and-
on
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
that's
yeah. He's like
That's so
paint
cool.
Sophia paint me like one of the Frenchmen, and then it's like the music starts. Doo-doo-doo. All right, what's next? I gotta get off this. We're on number 3. We're in our top 3.
This is Dream Eaters, the 23.
Nice. What do we get?
I gave it a 7. Justin gave it a 7. Bryn gave it a 9.
Nice. But why don't you start?
okay. Well, like space pirates are sweet.
Space pirates are sweet. That is
Strong
true.
start, strong
Yeah, that is
start.
accurate. Yeah.
I don't actually honestly feel like I really need to explain myself too much more.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a Metroid fanboy since I was like 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So space pirates are like especially cool.
All right.
Yeah, the spiders are like satisfying to kill, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for that part of the campaign so much.
Be like the space
But
pirate
like
part.
the part in space is
Yeah.
sweet.
And like the moon,
Yeah.
the old man with his ship.
And I do love the beginning one where they're like, "What is your weapon?" And you're like, "I got this sweet sword." And they're like, "That's not a weapon."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What do you mean? I've killed 7 people with it already."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No,
Yeah. Or like with like you point to your
don't."
brain. They're like,
don't stray from the path. And you're like, "I could sit here and use the ability on the card, and then die." I'm getting off the path.
Yeah,
Aren't I?
yeah, those old men are kind of idiots, aren't they?
No,
Yeah.
they're just there to keep
Yeah.
people who shouldn't be screwing around the Dreamlands from screwing around the Dreamlands.
It always bothers me though when he was like, change your clothes,
Yeah.
because I'm like, dude, I brought this for a reason.
Right here, right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to just
You turn around, looks just already naked.
yeah? It's one of those parties, a Bacchian festival of wine.
Yeah, no. The only thing that I don't like about it is that I wish that when you were fighting the end boss, there is a thing that can happen to cause him to have an additional stage, and I wish that there was another agenda that you only got to advance to if you got to hit that stage. With,
Yeah.
You know, maybe like even just 2 turns on it to try to actually get to play that out, as opposed to just showing up being like, "Here's the second health bar. Anyway, you go 1 turn. Go."
How is it that on our blind playthrough we got that and we've never gotten it since?
Happens a lot on our blind playthroughs, Justin.
Travis, why do you give it a 7?
Well, I like the Dream Quest of Unknown Cadet. The spider thing felt like a little bit tacked on for the sake of being just a 2-part campaign, in my opinion. Though I do like the way that they did it. I like the Alachnacha spin her like webs down in the... Yeah. It's a nice reference to the like story she originated from. It's like the 7 geese or something like that.
There's 7 of those geese.
Yes. Right
Quack,
next to
quack.
7 plus 7.
Yeah, it's about a dude who
That's
like he
amazing.
pisses off a sorcerer, and the sorcerer's like, "I put this geese on you, and my like little pterodactyl bird's gonna take you to this place where Sigotho is." And the Sigotho is like, "I'm not hungry. Go to the next person, and they'll tell me they're a tribute from me." And he keeps doing that until he like gets to he goes to like a bunch of a lot of those really obscure old ones from Arkham 2nd Edition show up there.
Incredible.
I guess the last one they're like, "Nah, I don't care, like fuck off back to the surface," and then he like goes to walk through cross Atlachna's bridges again, and one breaks and he falls forever.
What an idiot. All that.
Well, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
He's got a geese on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. They're vicious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that story, and that's where Atlachnacha comes from. It's been lore time with Travis. No, it does feel like a little bit tacked on because Atlachnacha kind of doesn't really have anything to do with the Dreamlands itself. But I did enjoy that especially the dreaming side, and one or two of the scenarios from the other side is just the Dream Quest from Undone Kadath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just that, and
Yeah.
including the end where he shows up and like, where are the gods? And you're Nyarlathotep's like, it's just me.
There are no gods, only Zool. I mean, Nyarlathotep.
Yes. Zool's the mask.
Yeah,
Zool's the mask.
Yeah. I got to play through this one with my little brother, and partway through it, before the cat was like, there shouldn't be two of this guy, he was like, isn't Randolph on the other side?
Yeah. That is
Like,
probably one of the.
yes.
So that's actually
Yes,
for
he
me.
is.
I like both stories quite a bit, but I don't enjoy the fact that I just don't feel like they matter that they're being played together. Like, the only reference is like, apart from like the cat being like, mechanically, I'm going to put a token in one of the things. Which one do you want to put it in, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't go beyond just like at the hospital we're watching them sleep and then we're like, we're going to go sleep ourselves, but we're actually going to go in through a doorway through the unnameable. I just feel like they're cool, but the connectivity doesn't really hit for me.
You can go through a door and then you got the silver key, which is the key of Dreamlands.
Okay. But it felt like to me with just that,
It's a metaphorical door.
a metaphorical door. Like
It's not a
the
literal
door to the mind.
Yeah.
The third eye.
Kinda.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, it still feels like they're so like, apart from like the Randolph Carter thing, which is admittedly really cool, there's not enough for me to like it because there's just two stories that I don't feel like really fit together.
Yeah, like the dreaming side is like just the Dream Quest from
Yes.
Kadath, and then the other side is like they took a couple other random stories that kind of had to do with the Dreamlands, and then like stuffed that Latch Natch into it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's a cool story. I just them together, I don't really dig it that
Yeah,
much.
but Ghoul Gang.
The Ghoul Gang is pretty sick. Ghoul Gang. If you play it on standalone, you don't get the Ghoul Gang.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because Randolph's fucking dead, and you
Oh,
get
yeah.
there, and everyone's like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "I'm daydreaming about the Ghoul Gang." All right, number 2,
Randolph sent me, he said to put together a ghoul game.
we have the Forgotten Age.
Yeah, this one and the next one both scored very well with 27s
Nice, yeah, that's very
out
well.
of 30.
Yeah.
I gave this a 9. Justin gave it a 10. This is the perfect scenario that perfect story for any campaign that they will ever put out, and Justin will never think another one is better than this.
It's true.
And bring give it an 8.
No, I can think other things are on par with it.
Yes, but they will never be better.
They'll never be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I honestly think the stories will be hard to beat.
So basically, Fantasy Flight, if you're going to write a story that's worse than this one, just don't bother.
Yeah.
Because
true.
Justin's not going to be impressed.
Yeah. You can't say they're better than until Justin says that it's out of 11.
Yeah, no, that's we'll just up the scale. We'll go
Yeah,
to
we'll just make
15.
the scale
That'll
bigger.
really hurt my averages for TIC. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Going in the trash.
Yeah, so I think this one's just like a great pulpy story that has twists, it has turns, it has like just fun story beats. It has a little bit of like I don't blame the Heart of the Elders mechanically against the story, right? Because the story makes sense. It's like we're in the jungle. It gives you that sense of time that a stories often don't have, right? Where it's just like
If it was a movie, they would like spring through the jungle and then like
it'd be a montage.
Yeah.
I mean,
hero
they would
needs a
they would like
montage.
fix all the totems or whatever, and just as they were fixing it, like the snake bird would come up and
Yeah.
then maybe like eat some nameless dude, and they'd like hurry into the cave.
Yeah, because like if this was an actual movie, yeah, they do better on Boundary Beyond for sure. Like
Oh,
it would be
yeah.
done in one. But like there's just like pretty much like everything has a nice pulpy undertone to it. It's very fun. The climax for me of the Yig storyline in Depths of Yoth is really cool. Like you just like the story of like going deeper and deeper, and then at the end when the Ishtaka and the Alejandro stories come to light and like come to their heads, where it's like you have to make a choice, and then like this also is like one of the campaigns where I actually think the decisions of how you want to play it, apart from like probably Path to Carcosa because it matches kind of the things, actually matters, right? Like whose side are you on vastly changes like what problem areas you're going to have, and if you're trying to forge your own path, it's really difficult too,
But
right?
you get a lot of points.
Yeah, which and like it should be difficult. So like it also like works really well, and then I love that you can end it by just siding with one of them. You could just be like, no, we're not powerful enough. It's yours.
Make me a snake man.
And then it also has like a fun little time travel ending if you get the secret thing. And then also, by the way, I'm saying all the spoilers. And when I learned that fucking the custodian was real Alejandro, blew my fucking mind. So, like, we weren't crazy to be like, this racist guy sucks, right? Because he does. He's a fucking Indian. It blew my mind. I was like, that's an actual twist that I did not know because we never followed that path. Yeah. And we love the custodian. We're always like, we love this guy.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Give me some extra cards.
And, like, that, I think that's such a success for a story told in a board game.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I gave it a 10 because I think it's like a peak board game story. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But nothing will be better, unfortunately.
Ever.
I've hit my peak.
No, they hit their peak.
Yeah. But I also hit my emotional peak because when you give something a rating, you're also putting yourself into it, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. What did you give? You gave it a 9?
Yeah. I like this one. I like going through the jungle and killing and sometimes not killing the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the time travel shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I like being a Yithian sometimes.
Yeah, the Yithian one's fun, yeah. That's a cool part of the story. I didn't even say that.
Yeah. I don't really have much to add on that Justin didn't say in his 5-minute rant, so...
Yeah,
How about you, Bryn?
So... This one mostly, like, mechanically, there are parts I don't like. I think they fixed a lot of it, again, in the Return to box. I hope that either we will get, like, they'll have refined the game-making process to the point that we don't need the Return to boxes, or we are, in fact, actually getting more Return to boxes at a later date. Because I think they have, for the most part, improved the campaigns. Whether it be making them more playable or just more interesting. That's not what this is about. This gets an 8 because I fucking hate Alejandro. Like, if I show up to play and I'm letting someone else make the choices without my input and they pick Alejandro, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna be pissed for the next 7 scenarios, hey? That's what we're doing. And I think that's great. That's really well done. Really well done.
Yeah.
Again, I care about what happens to characters who aren't me.
Yeah, and that's a sign that it's you're engaged. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I hate trying to get the secret ending that I'm not going to tell you what it is.
You know, Justin kind of did.
Well, I mean, I just said you. Yeah.
It's like really tough.
It is tough, but we did it on our draft. No, was it our draft?
We didn't. I mean, like we didn't. We got to it and then we died.
Yes, that is. Yeah. All right. Our number 1 is the one that's missing. Path to Carcosa. 9s across the board.
Yeah.
9s.
You might be thinking that's the same as the other one, and you'd be right.
Yep.
Yeah. But we gave this one the edge just because.
Yeah, if Travis wouldn't have gotten mad at me for using fractional numbers, this one would have been ahead.
You have like 10 numbers to pick from.
Yeah, but if I had fractions, I have so many more.
You don't need that many, you just need 10.
Yeah, but it's nice to have them.
Yeah, next time we can do 5. We can do 1 to 5.
No, but then he's going to do 0.5 and it's going to be a 10 scale again.
No, I'm not going to let him. He only gets 5 numbers this time.
Holy fuck, but I can't do enough with 5 numbers.
It'll make everything seem real bad.
I want 10 numbers, Travis.
If you can have 10 numbers, Bryn gets to vote twice, but he gets 5 numbers for each one, and I also get 10 numbers.
Okay.
Okay?
Bryn votes twice and he gets 5 numbers. Okay. That's perfect. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Why do we like Path to Carcosa?
It's got the doubt conviction mechanic.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite part of it is in the Return to when you get to discover the secret. And then, massive spoilers, but either it's like the King in Yellow is a real old one, and you're trying to stop him from like driving people crazy, or like it's all just in your mind, and you're imagining it, or you're in a play.
Yeah, no, the
It's a fantastic addition to the story, in my opinion.
because actually that's something that we generally, whenever we do talk about Return to Path to Carcosa, it doesn't really add much, but it does add the really nice little ending addition onto Dim Carcosa, which is really nice. Yeah.
It does also alter, like in the base game, you can get the like the Onyx clasp,
Yep.
but it doesn't do anything in the side you can have it in.
But in the return to
But in the return to, it does do things. I did quite enjoy that about the first one. They were like, "Do you want to take this?"
Yeah. And you're like, it does something bad,
You're
so
like,
it has
it's-
to do something
yeah,
good in
right,
the future.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Um,
It doesn't.
There's a lot of great story beats for me. The story as a whole, I think, flows really well. And if this was a movie, I probably wouldn't watch it because it would work better as a book. But, but it has a lot of really cool things, and like just the idea of bringing an unreliable narrator into a board game and actually doing it successfully is kind of just an accomplishment in
impressive,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a very big win. But I said so much about the Forgotten Age. I feel like I'm not saying anything about Path to Carcosa, but I just love it. I love Haster.
Take a horror.
Yeah, that's a really cool merging of narrative and mechanic as well, which is like really good. And just that there's like not really, apart from like mechanically Echoes of the Past sucks, but story-wise, it's another cool moment. Like you're gonna go research to learn about like this play and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just it's great. Yeah, a lot of huge good moments.
What, you don't like having to teleport up into the top floor somehow?
Yeah,
In order to stop them from burning all the books or eating them or whatever they're doing?
they're also just reading them, but they put them in their book bag and they're like, I'm gonna take this one out. And they're like, it's
but,
not a
like, if
library.
Yeah, but
if
you
you're
can't
the
get it
crazy
back
one,
by
you're
killing
just
them.
yeah. Like if you're the crazy one, you're just showing up, and they're just people who work there that you've murdered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and that's actually what I think is really cool about like the unreliable narrator. If you think about it like that, like or even just like in The Last King, you burn everyone at the party.
Yeah.
And you
Or
just killed a bunch of people at a
Mont
party.
Saint Michel, you can push people off a balcony. That's just
Yeah.
some dude.
Yeah. Or like the raving the catacomb docents, right? Like who
Yeah,
are like
they're just guys studying down there.
Yeah,
The
and then you're
skull that
like-
comes out of the walls. That's you hallucinating
Yeah.
about the
it's
the
a
skulls all around you.
and that's why it's a really good campaign because the unreliable narrator thing actually works in the board game. Yeah.
Yeah, this one also has a whole bunch of resolution text that you only get to read if you are the person who hit the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Notably, like, there's a bit that you get if you don't get out of an asylum.
Yep.
I know that one real well. But there's also one in like at the end where
Yes,
if you're,
which
if
is
you're
really
possessed,
cool. Yeah.
You're still possessed after the end.
Which
Yeah.
is really cool. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a very good story.
Yeah, mostly just like, you know, your choices actually matter.
Yep.
You could learn from this BioWare, currently owned by EA.
Got him! This has been the Daily BioWare Bomb here at PVG. We'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Huge thank you to everyone who watched this video. What's your favorite story in all the campaigns, and are you looking forward to the Scarlet Keys? Because I know I am. I think that's going to be a really cool... the setup and the lore for it all seems pretty neat. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.